It's a great danger when we have this kind of a fire break out.
Tonight at 6, homes are evacuated as a wildfire burns in Colorado Springs.
And eventually a police officer showed up and was like, "You folks got to go."
An arrest is made in connection with 3 bodies found in southern Colorado.
Colorado hospitals begin to run short on space and beds as the state hits another high.
A teachers union tries to establish its own standards for when schools should close.
There is nothing that's been consistent within most school districts.
An outbreak is reported at the Jefferson County Jail. Dozens of inmates and employees are sick.
Sidewalk need repairs? Well, Denver should get around to it in the next 50 years or so.
Stripped of assets, Glendale's best-known establishment is filing for bankruptcy.
A driver decides that whole share the road thing goes both ways.
And In-N-Out Burger announces an opening date. And we begin tonight in Colorado Springs, where more than 230 homes have been evacuated following the emergence of a new wildfire. Good evening, and thanks for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. The Bear Creek fires only burned about 10 acres, but those flames are so very close to homes. Neighbors say the threat seemingly came out of nowhere.
Annie actually called to me and it's like, "There's smoke on the horizon. Looks like a fire over there." And went over onto our deck and took a look, and it was very clear there was a fire on the ridge right across the valley from our home. Eventually, a police officer showed up and was like, "You folks got to go."
Despite persistent winds, the fire is now 50% contained. Crews are going to be working on hot spots throughout the night. Another fire also led to evacuations in Teller County. That one was quickly brought under control. An arrest made tonight in connection with the discovery of 3 bodies in southern Colorado.
Federal and state agents tracked the man nicknamed Psycho to a motel in Gallup, New Mexico. Denver 7's Lance Hernandez has more.
No trespassing signs, graffiti, and piles of dirt mark the spot where authorities discovered some human remains last week. Air Tracker 7 flying over a second location yesterday where more remains were found a few days later. CBI and the Conejos County Sheriff still on scene.
Sort of scary in a way.
It's a case that's riveting southern Colorado. Human remains found at 2 separate locations in Conejos County. Police have issued an arrest warrant for the suspect, identified as Andre Barros. He was arrested this afternoon at a hotel in Gallup, New Mexico. Barros, we are told, has a nickname.
He goes by Psycho. I just wanted to put that out there.
He probably is. I'm sorry, he probably is.
Many locals reacting to the discovery and wondering who the victims are.
I hope that it's somebody that they have been looking for and give a little closure to some of the families that have been looking for people for a while.
Authorities say it could take weeks, even months, to identify the victims.
I think it has something to do with these missing people.
Bissy Anderson says many people have been reported missing in the San Luis Valley. So many so that a Facebook page has been set up with photos.
It's awful that it's come to that. I'm glad there is a page out there where we can get this out, but it's awful that it has come to that.
Among the photos, Karina Arroyo, who disappeared in late August, and Selena Escabel, who disappeared September 3rd. Investigators say they have no evidence linking the remains to any missing people at this time. When asked about the suspect, longtime neighbors said it's just some bad people living in a good place. Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.
All DMV branches in Denver will close indefinitely on Monday, and most services will still be available online or over the phone.
Well, Summit County is easing into new restrictions imposed by the state health department. While every other industry will enter level red tomorrow evening, restaurants won't make the change until Sunday night. The county says it's making the exception because restaurants had already ordered food in anticipation of the big weekend ski crowd.
The state's largest teacher union released its own COVID dial today, and the goal is to establish a uniform approach for when schools should go remote.
Parents, educators, students all need this clear and consistent information. In absence of it, we have experienced what we experienced this fall: complete chaos, anxiety, angst. I myself am a parent to 3 school-age children and have experienced what it's like to not know how decisions are being made, What data is driving those decisions?
Under the Colorado Education Association's dial, schools could remain open at a 3% positivity rate. They would close at 5%. Now, we need to stress this dial is only a recommendation right now. It has not been adopted by the state nor officially by any district.
Another 26 deaths attributed to the coronavirus today in Colorado. 6,100 cases confirmed, bringing us past 180,000 to date. More than 1,600 hospital beds are being taken up by COVID patients tonight, and that, once again, is a new record.
ICU units in Grand Junction are at full occupancy. Staffing is also an issue. More than 2,000 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in Mesa County in just the last 2 weeks.
57 inmates and 13 employees at the Jefferson County Jail have tested positive. The sheriff insists testing is done almost daily there. However, results can take up to a week to process. And complaints of long waits for testing results are really becoming commonplace.
As Denver7's Liz Gilardi reports, a process that really should be simple is often confusing and error-prone.
I kept going to the portal where I pre-register and I check the results there.
The experience was all too familiar for viewers sitting at home, frustrated, anxiously waiting for COVID-19 test results.
I email the help center, no response. I call them, I call the 2 numbers I was given, I set up a portal, I've been checking the portal.
We aired a story earlier this week about problems accessing results at this test site in Centennial. Then complaints poured in to contact Denver7 about the same issue at that site and others operated by Mako Medical, like the drive-up site at Waterworld.
It's just been frustrating not knowing. Basically.
It's been almost a week since CJ Davis was tested. He was told he would have results in 3 to 4 days, and Sherry Hurd has been waiting just as long.
They give me the sheet and they say, and I have the sheet here because I take this serious, I should have my results in 3 to 4 days. If I don't have it by the end of the 4th day, then I should call them.
In a statement, the CEO for Mako said the company is building and implementing additional phone infrastructure and software, adding they've processed more than 2.2 million tests since April and they treat everyone as urgent. The CEO also explained that some people are having trouble with the online patient portal where you can log in to view results. He said problems can come up when the user's login name doesn't exactly match the one they provided at the site. CJ followed up to say he got a call back from Mako this afternoon. His name was in their system as Jonathan, which is his middle name, so that's why his results weren't showing up. But Sherry is still waiting.
So now I'm stuck. We don't know what to do.
Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
Governor Jared Polis among a group of governors, Republicans and Democrats, to meet virtually with President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris today. Improving access to tests, logistical challenges, and the possibility of a national mask mandate were among the issues discussed. President-elect Biden says he expects additional conversations like today's in the coming weeks. Intervention on the federal or state level cannot come soon enough. Another 9,000 people signed up for unemployment benefits last week.
And that is the highest number we've seen in some time now. As of November 7th, 224,000 Coloradans were relying on unemployment checks to get by. That is up 11,000 from the end of October. Denver firefighters will defer a 3% raise by a year. They'll also give up their birthday pay. The department says this short-term sacrifice will prevent 55 firefighters from being laid off. The contract still has to be approved by City Council.
2020 has not been kind to Shotgun Willies. The Glendale Strip Club filed for bankruptcy this week in the hopes of staying open. Shotgun Willies has had a chaotic year, to say the least. 8 workers were sickened with coronavirus over the summer, and then back in July, an employee was killed and others were injured during a mass stabbing.
The Denver Auditor's Office says the city's sidewalk repair program is decades behind schedule. And at the going rate, auditors anticipate repairs should be complete in a half century or so. And by then, of course, it'll be time to start all over again. Auditors sent the city a long list of recommendations to get this project back on track, and the city accepted all of them.
So the road, it belongs to everyone, right? Well, the bike path, not so much. These photos were taken today on the South Platte near the Denver Animal Shelter. And your guess as to what was going through this driver's mind is as good as ours.
Colorado Springs is a finalist to become the permanent home for the U.S. Space Command. Other finalists include Albuquerque, Bellevue, Nebraska, and Brevard County, Florida. Space Command currently is being run out of Peterson Air Force Base and will likely continue to do so for at least the next 6 years.
Coming up, Get Fit.
People were basically telling us, I don't know if I'm doing it right when I'm working out at home by myself or at the gym by myself.
Plan out your meals.
Meal kits have been a great way for people to start cooking again.
Then throw it all by the wayside for the most anticipated burger in memory.
Also, the Nuggets unveiled new uniforms and where Drew Lock stands ahead of Sunday's game.
70-degree days are done as this cold front moves in, and which areas will see snow.